What's up guys, Puzzleman here, and I wanted to do this video because a couple of my Facebook users brought up a really good point. When you're adding pigments to matte clear or glossifier or even in the colored dip, you still want to put down a layer of dip before you spray your car. What this is going to do is add a layer of protection to keep those powdered pigments off of your paint, so when it comes time to remove it, the pigments go with it. Now during the test trials that I did on my own vehicle, I never had any problem with this. But you know, this is not something that can't arise. After all, in the end, all you're really doing is adding more thickness to the dip, which is going to make it easier to remove in the end. So it's definitely a great idea. But that's not all I wanted to talk about on this video. I actually wanted to talk about spraying your hood without getting texture on it. Your flat surfaces are definitely the most challenging. The side of your car, for some reason, just turns out better every single time. Your hood, your roof, and your trunk definitely take a little bit more technique and a little bit more patience to deal with. What you're looking for is a solid, wet surface every time you spray your hood. During every pass, you don't want to see any spots or areas or lines that look like you've gone a little too thin. You want that wet layer all the way across. That way the dip can self-level and dry evenly. So let me get this bad boy taped up and ready to go. So first what I'm going to do is go down with a layer of black so I can show you a few techniques that I use that make everything dry evenly and smoothly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix sapphire blue pearl into black dip and spray it on this hood so you can see what that looks like. And in the end, I'm going to peel everything back off and I'm going to show you the difference between the front and the back so you can see that no pigments are actually coming through to touch your paint. So this is after one pass. Now keep in mind you still want to do 5 coats at least to make it removable later, but I just wanted to show you how smooth this can come out if you spray it right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and then put my pearls down on top of it and see how it turns out. I'm really kind of anxious to see what these sapphire blues are going to do mixed in with this black. So this is the sapphire blue mixed with black, and in the shade it actually has a little bit of a purple hue to it. So let me back it out and get it into the sun for you. You got no pigments? All your pigments. So you had a good protective layer between your paint and the pigments. Also, what I want you to take away from this video is when you're doing your hood, make sure you're doing even strokes, 50% overlap. Take your time and make sure everything is wet when you're done. You want that good wet layer so everything bonds together and self-levels. If you don't have that, you're going to end up with texture and lines. It's just going to turn out awful. Now by the third coat, if you've noticed that you have a little bit of a texture in one area of your hood, don't freak out, don't peel it. Just make sure that your next coat has the coverage that you need. And that final coat you do is ultimately the most important. You want that to be smooth and even all the way across. I hope this has helped clear a few things up. You definitely want a good, even, smooth finish when you're done. But when it is time to peel, you don't want a bunch of leftover residue either. Come on my Facebook page, facebook.com/IamThePuzzleMan. I would love to hear any tips, tricks, or suggestions that you guys have to offer. Or drop them on my website, www.IamThePuzzleMan.com. It's been kind of a warm day, so I'm going to go inside, I'm going to grab me a beer and sit on the couch. So get out there, get dipping, have a good time doing it, and you know what, as always, don't be a follower. Do it yourself.